What's going on, everybody? It's Cody. Welcome back to the channel. 4-game WNBA Sunday slate, 10K to first. Pretty fun little slate here with a bunch of news still up in the air. A lot will need to be updated in the live stream tomorrow, or if you can't catch that, hop in the Discord. I try to update everything as we get news. But let's look at my lineup for today. I pivoted to Kennedy Carter right before lock, and she barely played. They said it was something to do with the back injury, whatever. I don't buy it. She just got benched pretty much. Is what it is. I mentioned how high I was on Sabrina and JJ. They were absolute chalk. Whatever. I'm probably just not going to cash. Azura Stevens, 7 minutes with no stats is not ideal, but it is what it is. I can't win them all. Hopefully I can break this newly found cold spell in time for the Queen of the Court contest on Tuesday, but we will see. Let's kick back over here. They don't have any odds for the games up yet. Let me see if they've got them posted. So they have 3 of the 4 posted on the ESPN app. The Phoenix and Connecticut game doesn't have anything posted because there's just so much news we're waiting on with Phoenix. Aces at the Mystics. Aces are 11.5 point favorites. Over under 171.5. Fever at the Lynx. Minnesota is 4.5 point favorites. That is wrong. The total has not been released yet. And then the Dream at Seattle. Seattle are 12.5 point favorites at home. Also, the total has not been released for that game yet. But a lot to talk about here. A lot still up in the air as well, though. Natasha Cloud was randomly out this last game due to a left knee injury. We'll see if she plays. I would imagine she pretty much has to because I'm not expecting Brittany Griner to play. If for some reason Cloud is out again, they did mention that Diana Taurasi was close to returning. Probably could have played on Friday, but Coach Tibbetts wanted to keep her out again. Obviously, if Cloud and Griner are out, would mean big usage for Kalia Copper. Price has went up a little bit. If Diana Taurasi plays at 8,300, I will have a lot of interest in her. Her price is one since she's been out for a few games. It has not moved at all. It's actually come down a bit. So if she's in, I have a lot of interest. Sophie's price went way up after her best game of the season, 40 fantasy points. Practically played the entire game. Would have some interest in her if they're extremely shorthanded, but that price is up there. Rebecca Allen's price went down a little bit. She only saw 25 minutes, shot 2 of 10. The usage was there, so good bounce back spot for her. Really just depends who all is out on this team to determine like how much interest I'm going to have in a lot of them. Herbert Harrigan, 5,500. Price keeps going up. She practically played the entire game, 38 minutes last time out. Been solid in her 3 starts. Natasha Mack would be an absolute must-play slam dunk. If BG's out, she would play low 30s minutes and is a good fantasy point per minute player. So need to see official news here. But this team will be shorthanded. Celeste Taylor is now in the player pool. She saw 24 minutes. They are just extremely shorthanded. 24 minutes for a 4K player. If they're shorthanded again, I would have interest in her. On the Connecticut side, Alyssa Thomas, sub 11K. I have some interest. Phoenix really can't stop anybody. Obviously, a really disappointing floor for Alyssa Thomas. Her shot attempts have just been awful of late. If she's not going to score very much and she's only going to get you the peripheral stats, it's really hard to get to her. But this is a good matchup, so don't mind going there in tournaments. Dewana Bonner facing her former team, 9,200. Perfect price for her. She has big upside if the scoring's in there. Dejanay Carrington is fine. Don't mind her at 8,100. Bree Jones, if BG is out, looks absolutely amazing at sub 8K. Ty Harris, 6,400 is fine. She's pretty score independent. The peripheral stats have been really inconsistent of late. Tiffany Mitchell did pop up on the injury report, questionable with the hip injury. Just mean a little bit extra run for Burton, who's seeing quality, consistent run. Did not play very well this last game against New York. Don't think it changes much. Figure she's going to play. mid to high teens minutes off the bench. Olivia Nelson-Doda's fine as a bench big, but not a very good fantasy point per minute player. Banham, minutes are everywhere. If Tiffany Mitchell's out, would expect her to play like 10 to 12 minutes. So you can take shots on her in large field tournaments, but on a 4-gamer, you don't really have to go there. Aces at Washington. On the Aces side, Asia Wilson, 12.9K. Fresh off a 76 fantasy point game. Almost back-to-back 2020 games. Just unreal what she's doing. Obviously, if you have the salary, you should absolutely play Asia Wilson. Just typically set it and forget it player for me. Jackie Young still sub 10K. Had a down game against Atlanta, but minutes are still there. Usage is always there for her, and she's getting the peripheral stats. Love the upside that she has. Kelsey Plum, 8,800 is fine. Needs to score to really hit her ceiling, but peripheral stats have been better of late, so don't mind her. Chelsea Gray, minutes are good. Like, her minutes are above 30 in the past 2 games. The ceiling just hasn't been there. There's just not enough usage to go around for everybody. Like, if she's going to have a good game, it probably pulls from Plum and Jackie. Asia's going to get hers no matter what, but it's tough. I don't mind Chelsea at 7,700. She's due for a good game, and you want to be on the right side of it. You don't want to be chasing after a good game, so don't mind shots on her in tournaments. Alicia Clark, 6,300. Probably just a stay away from me, unless, like, Stokes would randomly be out. Like, if this team's fully healthy, I just don't have much interest in Alicia Clark, Tiffany Hayes, like Kate Martin. All these girls down here, they're just not going to play. And Stokes' minutes have not been good these past couple games since returning 17 and 14. I really can't recommend her. On the Washington side, Sykes is out until after the break. Samuelson's out until after the break. Austin is still without a timetable to return. But she's been practicing, looking pretty good, moving well. I just think they're being cautious, which is what they need to do since the season's pretty well lost for that team anyway. But would really like to see her back on the floor before the season's over. Up top, Ariel Atkins, 9,100. If they're going to keep this game competitive, it's probably going to be on her shoulders. Obviously, mentioned numerous times with her. If she sees a couple shots go in, watch out. She can have a big day. Decent fantasy or decent tournament play, but at 9,100, pretty steep. Dolson is a fade for me. I just can't get there. Upside is just not as high as I want it to be with all their other bigs available, like Hines Allen, Edwards, Ingsler. Misha Hines Allen, 7,500. Been up and down, but when she's going to play like these right around 20 minutes, it's really hard for me to pay over 7K for her, even though she's a pretty good fantasy point per minute player. Story Walker Kimbrough, 7,100 is fine. Like, I don't think you need to go there on a 4-game slate, but she's fine for large field tournaments. Leah Edwards, same thing, 7K, going to play right around 20 minutes. Can get there. She's a good fantasy point per minute player, but don't think you have to go there. Van Loo, 6,600, up and down. Fine taking shots on tournaments, but that's about it. Ingsler, I can't get there. Minutes are just really everywhere. When everyone's healthy, she's just not going to play double-digit minutes, so can't recommend her. Didi continues to start, but is a really, really low floor player, and they can just insta-hook her if she's not playing very well. Melbourne got extended last game. She's a good fantasy point per minute player if she gets the minutes, so don't mind taking shots on her in tournaments. Indiana at Minnesota. On the Indy side, Caitlin Clark, 3 straight 50-plus fantasy point days, 12.4K. Obviously, the upside is there. The matchup's not the best, but she has been electric as a facilitator. 13-7, 12-11, 13-13, 13 assists over her last 7 games. Yeah. Rebounds are solid, and obviously we know her upside in scoring, so have no issues going there in tournaments. It's just really, really hard. I mentioned it last slate. It's really hard to play Caitlin Clark over Asia Wilson on consistency alone. Like, Asia is a walking 50 fantasy points, where Caitlin Clark has shown like high 20s, low 30s floor. But the way she's playing right now, everything's clicking for her. I have no issues going there. Boston 10.2K is fine. I think you can go there in tournaments, especially if Fagbinlay remains out. We haven't heard an update if she's going to play tomorrow or not. Melissa Smith back in the starting lineup. Played big minutes. Had a good game. I don't mind her. If Fagbinlay's out, I would have some interest. If Fagbinlay is in, I would probably pull my interest in Alyssa back quite a bit. Kelsey Mitchell, 8,500. Big scoring upside. If she's going to take 19 shots, you got to have some interest. 8,500 is pretty steep, though, for someone that is extremely scoring dependent. Katie Lou all the way up to 5,400. She's fine. Playing high 20s, low 30s minutes. Needs to hit her threes to hit value, but they found something with the starters, and they're playing them big minutes, so don't mind her. Lexi Hull coming off the bench is fine. She shot 0 of 7, but played 20 minutes. Had a good defensive game. Actually fouled out. But 11.75 fantasy points is fine. I think you can go there for value if you need to. Christy Wallace, 3,800. Played 4 minutes. No, she actually DNP'd. I missed that. She was a complete DNP against Phoenix, so definitely don't go there. Erica Wheeler only saw 9 minutes, so really can't go there. Dantas only played because Fagbinlay was out. She still only played 5 minutes. If Fagbinlay's in, Dantas will not play. Just got the news that Fagbinlay is out. So, just got the notification. I do like Melissa Smith for tournaments. Aaliyah Boston, both of them should play low to mid 30s minutes. And then Dantas is fine to play like 5 to 8 minutes off the bench. On the Minnesota side, I don't know what this team was doing last night. Just incredibly tilting. Not expecting Fee to play. Like I mentioned before, I'd be shocked if she comes back before the Olympic break. Alana Smith got the minutes and just didn't do anything. Barely shot the ball. Didn't really do anything else. Really disappointing game from her. I do like the bounce back spot. Indiana plays 0 defense. So Kayla McBride had a big game. 6 of 12 from 3. She shot 1 2-pointer. Only played 25 minutes, 38 fantasy points. Obviously, pretty scoring dependent, but fine play here, especially in this matchup. Courtney Williams, another one, only played 17 minutes. I don't know what was going on with the rotations. Like the matchup for her, but minutes, I just don't know what to project for them. Dorka, 6,700 is fine. She should play mid-20s minutes and continue to start. Carrollton is fine, 6,500, needs to hit her threes to hit value. Zandalasini is scoring dependent, should play high teens minutes, maybe touch 20. Heidemann, really tough to trust, but look, 23 minutes last time out. I don't know why. Played her over Courtney Williams so much, made no sense. Diamond Miller, 4,300, played big minutes. That is very telling that she is off her minutes limit finally. Really have some interest in Diamond Miller in this matchup, especially if she's going to see 15-plus minutes at that price point. Peely saw 10 minutes. As Diamond Miller gets gets healthier, Peely's minutes will go back down. So obviously need Afufa to be out to really get peak Diamond Miller. But a lot to like there, especially in that matchup. Last game of the day, Atlanta at Seattle. On the Atlanta side, Tina Charles, 9,600. Not been very good of late. Minutes have really ticked down. That's pretty concerning. 9,600 is fine. The matchup is solid. Alicia Gray, 9,300. Did not have a very good game, but the peripheral stats were there. She just shot 4 of 15. Love the upside that she has. When the peripherals are rolling, she's playing big minutes. Just need her to score. I think she's a solid tournament play. Howard is still out. Canada's out. Powers hasn't been ruled out yet. But I do expect Ryan Howard to return before the break. She's been practicing. Looks to be in pretty good shape. Doesn't look to have any setbacks or anything. So maybe she comes back on Tuesday or Wednesday right before the break. Cheyenne Parker, 6,800, had a big game against the Aces in 21 minutes. She's a solid fantasy point per minute player. The minutes have been okay. She's playing 21 to 24. She can get there. Don't mind her in the mid-range. Nia Coffey, no interest at 6,100. Minutes have not been very good of late. Haley Jones, not a good fantasy point per minute player. If she's not going to play over 30 minutes, really can't recommend her. Maya Caldwell, 5,600. She shot 17 times against the Aces last time out. Wow. She's perfectly fine at 5,600. Her minutes have been super secure ever since after these first couple games when they started having to start her. 32, 30, 28, 29. She's playing high 20s, low 30s minutes as a starter. Aerial Powers, if Aerial Powers is in, definitely hurts Maya Caldwell, would send her back to the bench. Naz Hillman, 5K is fine. Like, the minutes have been pretty solid of late. Just need her to score a bit to really reach a ceiling. But don't mind her as a cheap play. And then we got to mention Henderson. Minutes have been ticking up of late. Obviously, at this price point, don't need much to pay it off. If they're still without Powers tomorrow, would have some interest in her as a cheap option. On the Seattle side, NECA, 10.4K. Have no issues going there. It's a good matchup. Same thing with Ezzy. Ezzy's not been good these past two games, but has big upside in a matchup like this. Joel Lloyd, another one, huge upside. Had a really subpar game last time out. Did not have the usage that she normally does, but love her for tournaments always. SDS has been playing really well of late. Just been really consistent. 40 bomb and shot 3 of 10. Big interest in her. Should see low 30s minutes. Just been playing really well. You can see her starting to gel with the team. Horston, woof. She has been bad these last 3 games. Been really rough. The matchup is solid, but it's really hard to recommend her. They're playing some people off the bench, like Vivian's got 18 minutes last time out. Holmes is playing, saw 10 minutes. Whitcomb is still getting her normal run. She got up to 20 minutes last night. This team is pretty rough outside of the top 4. Those are really the main 4 you want to target here. And on a 4-game slate, I don't think we need to go anywhere down here. But before I get out of here, I wanted to kick over here to Underdog. They are doing this 6-person draft, 5K to first, Sunday shoot-around. It's a good payout pool. Rankings, I haven't done my rankings for it yet, but just wanted to swing over here and show you guys a few things. I do not expect BG to play, so for her to be getting drafted all the way up here, I think that's a mistake. Same thing with Nafisa Collier. I'm not expecting either of those two to play. Same with Natasha Cloud. I could see Natasha Cloud playing, and at 24 ADP, there is some merit to maybe taking some stabs on her. I wouldn't go overweight. I personally think it's more likely that Diana Taurasi plays than Brittany Griner. And at this price, pretty much the 6th round, I have some interest in drafting Diana Taurasi. There's a few players like Natasha Mack. I think she's going too low. I think she's a perfect late 5th, early 6th round target. But if you guys want to see my rankings, I'll have them out in the Discord a little bit later on tonight once I get projections and everything done. And I'll drop a little bit of nuggets and notes on the slate here on Underdog. If you don't play on Underdog and you want to sign up, use code CREPASS for a deposit bonus match up to $250. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Good luck to everybody. Leave a like on the video. Really helps out the channel grow. Hit that subscribe button. We are still on the road to 500, getting so close. Would love to get there before the Olympic break. But good luck to everybody, and we'll see you for the next one.